Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is D, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Life Lessons card of the Guardian. And when this card came up, the immediate thought that came to my mind was, all right, we got to face our fears. But what fears do we have to really face when yesterday's card, the Nine of Vessels and Cups, generosity, or the Nine of Vessels, generosity showed up. And here we've got all this abundant emotional energy that we can share with everybody. And we can, and is it that opportunity of the fear opportunity of just sharing with others? Sharing the peace and serenity with others that you face, because you really don't want them to have that. Or you don't, you want to keep it all to yourself. It's one of those things where, the guardian, comes up to help show you the darkness that's within. All right. And to help you understand, what that darkness is. Okay. With everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks, with all the intellectual energy, the communication, the back and forth, in the transition that we had here a couple days ago, we've got that passion energy as well with the Queen and the Knight of Bows down here. And it's understandable not wanting to put yourself out there emotionally. Seeing people, could take advantage of it. But when at the same time, when you can have that smile on your face and, greet people with, a pleasant attitude, good morning and respectful, and, just having an opportunity to, talk with other people, that's giving them the sense of, of a warm feeling, that peace and joy. You're giving them a little bit of you. All right, let's just say that. But at the same time, you can be vulnerable. All right, and you don't want to be, too vulnerable to where, people take advantage of that. Okay, and that's, the guardian is there to stop you from stepping into that cave. He wants to feed off your fears. He wants to feed off of you not doing the right thing, right? He wants to stop you. You have to have the mindset, the intellectual mindset, let's say, that we've been building up here the last 2 weeks, to say, you know what, Mr. Guardian, we're done. So, here you just transitioned. You got the fox running around your foot, your feet, saying, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. What opportunity are you seizing? And, the Queen of Bows is still with you, and he's carrying on that message. And then you run into these goals and dreams. You run into this great, serene man floating, and he's out there, and the fox is just kind of looking at him going, look at the passion that he's got with the generosity, right? And everybody's generous in their own way, generous with a smile, generous, some are generous with their finances, some are generous with their creative ability, their passion that they have for something. All right, some are generous with just, how grounded they are. And as you're walking along and you see the generosity going along, the guardian comes up, almost blindsides you. I want you to turn this way. And you turn that way, and it's like, whoa, no, I don't want, I see I don't want to go there. And yet at the same time, as we get into Halloween season, this skeleton is a reminder of the death and rebirth that is really going on with the season. And it's not even a rebirth. It's more like a hibernation. All right? Because now as we get into, late October, we get into that Halloween, the veil between us and the underworld gets thinner. All right? And the guardian wants to feed off those fears. We celebrate, Halloween, with candy and, snacks and apples, and, we celebrate, this time of this thinning veil. to where skeletons and ghosts and goblins and ghoulies all come out, right? You know, when we were kids, those were stories. But now, as you get older, people are celebrating it. You know, they're putting these things out on their lawns. They're putting these things out upon our houses. And it's not to scare anybody off. It's to celebrate the fact that this is an opportunity to embrace those fears. Embrace, the scariness of it, to take it away. All right? And when you can step away from those fears, when you can step away from, the scariness about, with anything, what that does is it gives you a confidence to walk through the cave that he's guarding and gain wisdom, courage, and strength. All right? And not be afraid of things that go boo in the night, or that wake you up, in cold sweats from that terrible dream, realizing, that's your subconscious just letting you know that this is something that you have to work through. And when you can confront and master that fear, then you realize what's in the darkness that's scaring you. You realize that dark self that's within. And, that awareness is 99% of the journey. When you're aware of something and you confront it and you recognize it and you say, you know what, here's the plan to put in place where I don't have to worry about anything, then you start moving forward again on your journey. You start moving forward on the path that the universe has for you. Because the universe is going to continue to put you in situations, all right, to come across these things. Whether it's financial, whether it's love, whether it's relationship, all right, whether it's, meditation and being grounded. The universe is going to continue to build that skill set within you so you can move forward on your spiritual path and, meet your higher self. The challenge that has arrived is within you. That's what the life lessons cards teach. To look within, to see what's going on within yourself, what fears that you have. And once you recognize and you seize that opportunity, like the fox, I asked you to do, then it's time to take control of those fears. Face what's going on. Do so with courage. And like the Queen of Bows, who do you influence those around you? How do you influence yourself? The thought processes around that jealousy, around that gossip and the injustice. Sometimes rumors and gossip and all that, they're meant to harm. They're meant to hurt than they are to help. And if you don't take part in that, you don't have to worry about the fear and the insecurities that poses. And once you get enough of that experience as you're moving forward, and you're walking through this, you see this skeleton pop up, you just say, step aside, dude. I'm walking by. You're not stopping me on my path. Not this time. No. And he looks at that and he says, well, I can't even smell the fear on you. You're right. You can't. I've got some good cologne on today. Not that matters, because he's going to be able to smell the fear or not. But, within that process of you growing within your spiritual walk, spiritual path, doing that internalization of facing those fears on a day-to-day process, on a month-to-month, it's all about growing in your evolution of your spiritual path moving forward. And with that, like I said, comes strength, comes courage, comes patience, comes perseverance. And you stay in that high vibration of love. You stay in that high vibration of joy to where you're floating around those cups. Fear's not going to drive this guy back. He's going to realize his dreams. He's going to realize his goals. And meanwhile, the fox is just looking at you going, yeah, what are you going to do? How are you going to seize this opportunity? Don't ignore the details. And you're like, there's no details to ignore here. I've met him. I faced him. I'm ready to move forward. And you do so. And the guardian steps back and he lets you through. You may go into that cave not knowing where you're going, but you take your time, step by step, inch by inch, until you see that light at the end of the tunnel and you get through it. So that's today's card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the Guardian. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, give me a thumbs up. And this is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.